Hey guys, right, another day, another vlog. Now, what I wanted to do today was mainly talk about my philosophy of life and what my work ethic is, but the first thing I want to talk about is this. We got the proof for All Over the House, Book 2, and it's actually really good, except for one issue where there's been a fault in the print run, so thankfully this is a proof copy because they've missed out 3 pages. That's an issue that I've contacted the printer about. Hopefully they'll sort it out and we'll be alright and good for King Con, but it's got to get printed pretty quick if we want to get it for King Con show. It's getting a bit tense. But anyway, let's get on with the day. Out here in 7 acres up in Bradshaw. I think this is Bradshaw Brook behind me. I'll zoom in a little bit, you see it? You can't really see it, but the point is that basically I wanted to talk about my philosophy of life today, and I'm hoping that I'm in focus because I don't want to have to fiddle. My philosophy and my work ethic comes down to one sentence. Today's excellence is tomorrow's average. Whatever you're doing, if you're pushing yourself to the brink, that's great, because that's what you should be doing. Push yourself, make yourself better, make the work that you do excellent. But tomorrow, you can't rest on your laurels, because now you've reached that point, there's another excellence to get. That's my philosophy for everything I do. I want to make my books better, I want to make my comics better, I want to make my videos better, my editing better, everything. You see, it's like films. Films in the early period, when it was still black and white, and even before they'd even got sound on them, films were changing. The original style was just basically a scene that happened to have some animation, and that was great at the time. It was so progressive, and no one had seen anything like it. But if films had stayed like that, we wouldn't have all the great stuff we have now. We wouldn't have Star Wars, we wouldn't have The Godfather, we wouldn't have anything. Because you have to move on. That's what you've got to do in your own life. Always keep pushing the boundaries and seeing what comes next, what's better than you did before, regardless of how good what you've done before is. Ducks.
Are the ones with the green heads, are they actually mallards?
I believe so, but don't quote me on it.
They might be drake. I thought, is the duck actually the female?
Duck's female, drake's male.
Well, God, look at that. That bird over there has got one hell of a posse. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 blokes with one hen.
Oh yeah, I see the shack, yeah. And there's another one, is there?
Yeah, right over there. You just see through the trees.
Vaguely, I haven't got a zoom lens, so I can't really see it.
I think all it is, whoa, extreme close-up. I think all it is that there's either is or has been paddocks over there where people have kept ponies. So they're probably the actual stables, but it looks like it's all fairly disused and fallen into disrepair.
Would you say that they're probably unstable now? I don't know. Could be a pond.
Well, a lot of this area, going way back, there'd have been mills and stuff, because the Bradshaw Brook that's there, like a lot of other rivers, was very heavily used for the water power. And I know that if you go right up to near where my parents live, up in Bromley Cross, there used to be a bleach works there. And when I was small, it was just completely derelict, and you could wander through. And we used to play there, it was brilliant. A lot of these features are just relics of the water system, like the mill pounds and stuff, that would have gone with a lot of these mill structures. Although this looks like it's been rebuilt more recently, because they're actually cobbles that have been recycled.
Yeah.
Should we go up there and just see what's actually up there?
Yeah, why not? Let's have a look. Oh!
Or is it? Or actually, this may actually be a later thing.
Oh my goodness, this is beautiful.
I bet you in the middle of summer this would be wonderful. You could have a picnic here. This is one to bring the girls.
Yeah.
This actually looks like it might not be an original feature, and more that it's a case of making a nature area.
Yeah.
Sort of creating a wetland area, and you can see all the reeds and water lilies. This is wonderful.
I love this, yeah.
Yeah. And the thing is that you can possibly, just about hear the traffic noise in the background. And that's actually Bury New Road, a main thoroughfare, the A58, that connects Bury to Bolton. And I can even see the cars moving through the trees, and yet Look at this tranquility in the middle of a sort of urban setting, all housing estates and all the bustle of Bolton moving into Bury, and here we are. Wonderful. Even though now it looks all like wildlife and oldie worldy, if you went back 100 years, this whole area would have been a hive of industry. Bolton really is one of the epicentres of the Industrial Revolution, because people like Samuel Crompton, we've obviously shown his house in previous videos, but you know, the Spinning Mule, this is the heart of the textile industry, which was at the forefront of the Industrial Revolution. And now a lot of this land has kind of just gone back to being this wonderful, tranquil, almost sort of like a wilderness. And it just shows that given enough time, most industrial landscapes will revert back to nature quite happily.
I've got bats here on the bench, right next to the scary wood. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And other scary noises too. There's a smell here that is just, oh, it's like my childhood. I grew up in Bolton and then in Coxo, well, Park Hill between Bolton and Coxo. And in both cases, the local recreation park, the Rec as we called them, it was next to a beck, a small, if you don't know what a beck is, it's like a very small stream that's pretty much dried up. And as a result, it always smelled a little bit of water and dampness, which has essentially become the smell of my childhood. And I recommend, if you have a chance and you have kids, let them grow up playing in parks that have got a stream in them, because that smell that you get when it's dirt that's wet, it will become the smell of their childhood, and it'll bring back memories every time it rains, which is essentially what's happened to me.
A lot of these pebbles and stuff, what you're looking at is you can see bricks in there as well.
Yeah.
It's actually the demolition rubble from some of the mills further upstream that's gradually been worked through the river, and it gets pounded and pounded until it's very smooth, almost like pebbles on a beach. And again, it just shows even demolition rubble, bits of concrete, old brick, the stone facade of buildings can become just at one with nature again.
Yeah.
And then we've got the inevitable bits of rubbish. That looks like an old fire extinguisher, actually.
Yes, I think you're right. You know, sometimes, Jen, it feels a little bit like we live in the Shire. You right there?
Yeah, I'm fine. I was just looking pretty whilst you were filming.
Were you thinking deep and meaningful thoughts about stuff?
You don't know what. You don't want to know what I was thinking about.
You don't know me at all, man.
You don't know me, man. You weren't inside my head.
Okay, Jen, show us your local wisdom. What on earth is that?
Well, we've got the river on one side, but this, which looks like a sort of disused, filled-in canal, is actually the catch water for the mill pond system. And the way this worked was that you kind of tapped into the river somewhere far up from here, normally where there'd be a weir, so that you would get a constant and plentiful supply of water, and then this would feed into all of the mill pounds, most if not all of which have long since gone. But what remains is this kind of almost like a disused, murky. There is a bit of water flowing into it, so I suspect when we get far enough up there, we'll see the point that it rejoins the main river channel. And certainly up where my parents live, in the woods there, where I played as a child, there is actually one that was recently dug out to be able to supply water once more to a lot of mill ponds which were being used again for fishing. So they cleared everything out, and it all worked just as it did when it was built, probably 200 or so years ago. But this is clearly disused, it's silted up.
What's that bit of wood?
It's either been a small bridge to get across, or most likely it's just something that's been dumped.
Oh, fair enough. I thought there'd be a technical term, but something that's been dumped, I suppose that works?
The technical term is junk.
Ah.
Oh, speaking of which...
Yeah, speaking of which, fly tipping.
Yeah, that train is never late.